Today we're stepping away from the ocean to head out to the African plains. So join us as we talk about 10 things you must do at Busch Gardens Tampa. Number one on our list is that you need to arrive early, especially if this is your first time to Busch Gardens like it was ours back a few months ago. There's a lot to learn about the park, and you need to be there early to enjoy it. So make sure you arrive early, that way you can spend all day and enjoy everything there is to see, from coasters to animals to shows at Busch Gardens. Number two on our list, this is where you have to kind of make a decision. Are you going to be a coaster fan and hop in line early for your favorite rides and just do Iron Gwazi, Montu, Cheetah Hunt, and just spend all day doing that? Or are you headed to see the animals? Well, we'll show you a montage of some coaster action later, but in our books, you should go see the animals first. Maybe some rides later, but animals first. So for what we did was we headed to the edge of Africa. You can get to see the hippos early, the lions, cheetahs, while things are calm and quiet in the park. So go see the animals first. Then we recommend picking up a mold-orama. These souvenirs are so cool, and they're all throughout the park. There is an elephant, a hippo, a lion. There's actually an Iron Gwazi one. They are fantastic, and they're fairly cheap souvenirs for you to have, and they're really cool. It's an old-style souvenir that Busch Gardens had when they opened many years ago, and now they've added to the collection. We picked up a hippo and a flamingo, and I definitely recommend doing that, especially if you have kids, being able to watch how it's made, watch it pop out, feel how warm it is when it first pops out of the machine. So make sure you take the time to do that. Again, there's many different options to choose from, and they're spread out all throughout the park. You can use credit card or cash. Fourth on the list, all aboard, it's time for the Serengeti Express. Hop on the train for a journey around the park and through the Serengeti Belt. This is a fantastic experience. I think it took about 30 minutes for our train to go around. The very first time we hopped on, we got stopped a few times because the rhinos decided to stand either really close to the track or actually on the track. And of course, the train has to stop. And so we got some really good up-close views of the rhinos at that point. The giraffes would stand pretty close, and it was fantastic. We saw the zebras, the different antelope-type animals, I think some water buffaloes. Just fantastic, all kinds of cool animals. But even better is, if you have the chance, if you're there later in the evening, hop on the train either at sunset or, timing-wise, if it ends up just being dark, it was still a fun experience. No, you can't see the animals as well, but it was a fantastic experience. Hilarious conductor on the back of the train, so make sure you take the train ride, whether day or night. It's gonna be fun. We did it early in the day the first time, that way we didn't wait too long to get on the train. The later in the day you wait, you will wait longer to be able to hop on, but the train is big, and if you're inside the main station building, most likely, as long as enough people get off, you will get on the train. If you're staying outside the buildings, maybe not as likely, but if you're inside, you have a pretty good chance of hopping on the next train. For number 5, you should definitely catch a keeper talk. We highly recommend the cheetah and the gorilla talks. Now, we saw the cheetah one 2 different times, and the first time they did the cheetah run, where they set up the machines. You could watch the cheetah chase the, I forget what it was called exactly, but some sort of bait that they were trying to catch. And that was fantastic to see how quickly they got up to speed. Then the second time, they didn't have things set up for the machine, but you still got to hear about the cheetahs and watch the interaction between the trainers and the cheetah. Fantastic. And we got to see the gorillas, which was a lot of fun. There was a new set of gorillas at the park at the time we were there, so they were still getting adjusted to their new habitat, and the keeper was explaining that, and the interactions between the gorillas as they were eating was hilarious. So make sure you check out a gorilla talk. We'll post a video about the gorilla talk here in the future. There's actually already, the cheetah run is already up, so make sure you go back and see that. I'll make sure to tag it in the description, and you can find it in a card up above. But in addition to the cheetah or gorilla talks, and like right now on the calendar, I wasn't seeing the cheetah talk, but there is a hippo and alligator talk, and you should make sure to check out those. Now, number 6 on our list, you should take a break at some point in the day, and you should go enjoy animal tales. This is a fantastic way to take a rest for a little while and get to learn a little bit about some animals. For the show we were at, the tortoise stole the show. The tortoise, he was sent out to walk across the stage, and then he decided he didn't want to walk where they wanted him to walk. He decided to go back the other way. He just wanted all of the attention, and it was hilarious. We really enjoyed watching that. We enjoy turtles, so we found that to be a lot of fun. So make sure to watch Animal Tales over in Pantopia at the Pantopia Theater. For number 7, you're at Busch Gardens. They have some amazing roller coasters, and in addition to the fact that the coasters are just amazing, there's also just so many vantage points that you can stand and watch the coasters. We spent half of a day just standing and watching the coasters. It was fantastic. The different views you could get, the different sounds you heard from the coasters, so make sure that you do that. I think the ones that we found were the most interesting to watch were Montu. Cobra's Curse definitely wins. Once that coaster goes and it starts spinning in circles, hilarious to watch people's reactions on that one. The Iron Gwazi was a little bit hard to see from where we're at. It's not one of the best ones for views, but there's a couple good spots where you can watch that. Kumba was a lot of fun to watch, but I think our favorite one is Shikra. I don't know that you will ever get me on that ride, but it was definitely a fun one to watch. Just that single car across so many people, and just how quickly it moved, the sound of it, so make sure you check that out. Also, if you're not interested in coasters, the Congo River Rapids, that one's fun to watch as well as to ride it. It was a lot of fun, so make sure to check that out. Alright, number 8 on our list is something that we didn't realize at first you could actually walk into. There's a couple buildings in between the edge of Africa and just before you get to Pantopia. It is the Animal Care Center and the Animal Connections Building. The Animal Connections Buildings is where there's some of the smaller animals. So there's some snakes, some toads, different animals like that. I think the sloths are there as well, where you get to see some smaller animals. I think there's a porcupine as well. Those are always cool to see. As you're walking through, there's the penguins in that area, there's a tortoise, and then there's the Animal Connections and the Animal Care Building. As you enter the Animal Care Building, there's an area with some chairs and a table up at the front, and they're working on different things for animals for enrichment. So there's actually a animal enrichment presentation that you can watch, so make sure to check that on the schedule. The day we were there, they were preparing some balls so they could put treats inside of it for the elephant's birthday. So that was fun to watch. But they'll also tell you about that, and then as you go around to the left in the building, there's some big windows that you can look through, and those are an operating room, a procedure room for the different animals, and so if there's something happening, you actually get to watch what's going on. There was a lab that was the only room that had anything happening the day we were there at the Animal Care Center. At number 9, if you can do this as the sun is getting ready to set, it makes it a fantastic view, just the like soft light. It's a lot of fun. It would be to hop on the Sky Ride, where you get a bird's eye view of the park. You're going to go past Cheetah Hunt. You're going to go past the Serengeti Flyer, which you will never catch me on that ride. You'll go out over, you might get to see the trains, into the Serengeti Plain, and then back around, and you're going to end up in Jungala area. But it's a fantastic ride. It is $5 per ride for those who are not annual pass holders, but if you have an annual pass, it is free, so make sure you're aware of that. If you have any guests with you, you will need to pay for the guest. Now, if you're finishing your day a little bit early, maybe, not necessarily when it's dark, because it might not be as much fun then, but if you're finishing your day at dusk, you should definitely go grab a pizza and get a view of the Serengeti Plains from the Overlook Cafe. That's how we ended our time at Busch Gardens. You couldn't see the giraffes like really up close, but you got a good overview of the Serengeti Plain, and you could enjoy seeing the animals while you had a really good pizza. Might even get to see the train go by while you're there, and it's fairly quiet. There's not really a lot of action happening over there, so it's very nice, quiet, peaceful place to have dinner before you leave the park. So those are our 10 things that we think you should do at Busch Gardens. I want to thank you for watching Ant on the Move. If you enjoy these videos, please let us know by liking, or if you want to, subscribe, or if you wouldn't mind, sharing it with someone who you think should go to Busch Gardens with you, and you can share with them what you should do when you visit.